Greetings, this is Charles McCall with Mentoring Growing Leaders again, and we're in lesson number 2 of Relationships 101. Relationships 101 is a small book written by John C. Maxwell, and it's not so easy to find nowadays, especially outside of the United States, and especially in some of the countries where I have been and where I live now. And so I'm going to be doing short videos to give you a summary of the excellent content on the inside of this book, Relationships 101, what every leader needs to know. And so we're on lesson number 2, chapter number 2, lesson number 2. And John Maxwell doesn't know how to write anything in the short form. That he is, every book that he's written, every lesson that he's written is just packed full. Honestly, it takes me 3 sessions to teach one lesson of his. And so we're going to do chapter number 2 in part 1 and part 2. So this is chapter number 2, part 1. What do I need to know about others? This is what John Maxwell says a lot. You'll hear him say this a lot. People don't care how much you know until they know how much they care. Let me say that again, and I do have slides associated with this. They're on my Facebook, or you can email me. You can look in the notes in the notes section of the video. People don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. What that means is before you try to persuade someone to do something, to change, to follow you, to believe you, they want to know how much you really care about them. So sometimes we try to persuade people or push people to go in a certain direction without them feeling that we really care about them. And so it's important. So what we're trying to say here, what John Maxwell is trying to say, and I'm in agreement, you show care for the person first, and then you ask them to do something, or you try to lead them somewhere. This is a great leadership principle. If you desire to be successful and make a positive impact in your world, you need the ability to understand others. Because you and I will always be working with people. As I said in the previous lesson, if we're a mother, a father, parent, or child, if we're the boss, we're the employee, we're at the top, we're at the bottom, we will always have to relate to people to some degree. And so if we want to move forward and be successful in our endeavor, we must understand people. And this is huge. When you begin to understand people, well, then that gives you the potential to be able to lead them to success in their life. And by the way, if we're talking about leadership and if we're talking about life, it's not all about you. It's about you rising to a certain level and then you reaching out and you helping others to achieve their potential as well, to lead them to the next level of success. And so before you will get people to listen to you, then you will need to listen to them. Before people will listen to you, you will need to listen to them. Before people like you, you will need to like them. Before people follow you, you will have to show concern, genuine concern about them. Here's a key. People want to be listened to, they want to be respected, and they want to be understood. That is so important. I'm going to say it again. People want to be listened to, they want to be respected, and they want to be understood. That is a major shift in thinking and relationships for many of us, because many of us feel it's about us, and we want to use other people as stepping stones, as a ladder for us to achieve success. We want them to buy our product. We want them to vote for us. We want them to relate to us so that we can achieve success. Wrong way of thinking. You invest in them and they will respond back to you. When people feel that they are understood, they will open their hearts to your ideas. When you ask them, what's your idea? What are you feeling? What are you thinking about this? Then they will open up and they will be drawn to you. So we're going to be looking in this first section, the first part 1 of what do I need to understand about people. We're going to look at 3 reasons why people do not understand others. People long to be understood. They want to be listened to. I would say so much more about that. Have you ever, and I hope that you're not one of them, have you ever been with someone and all they do is talk, 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 talk? They talk about themselves, they talk about everything in the world, and they show no interest in you? I'll be honest with you, when I'm with someone like that, I'm not interested in them. But when I am sitting with people and they're asking me about how I feel, what I'm going through, what's happening in my life, what's important to me, my heart is drawn to them. Which kind of a person do you want to be? 3 reasons why people do not understand others. Number 1 is fear. The number 1 reason that many of us don't understand others because of fear. Someone said, don't reject what you don't understand. Don't reject what you don't understand. Sometimes we have someone come in and they act in a strange way, they relate to us in a strange way, in an offensive way, and we will reject them. I don't want to be around them, I don't want to associate with them, but we haven't tried to understand them yet. Why are they acting that way? You know, my experience in life, most people act the way they do because they've been hurt. And they're trying to cover up pain. They're trying to gain control because they've been stepped on. And so if you can be patient and not reject something that you don't understand, that's going to be helpful. Now, you may eventually understand that person and still don't like them, but don't reject people right off. Listen to them, try to understand them. Don't reject what you don't understand. When we don't understand others, often we react by becoming fearful. We don't understand. Why are they talking that way? Why are they talking so loud? Why do they have that idea? Why are they doing that thing that they're doing that is so crazy or so offensive? And so we need to ask yourself, I encourage you to ask yourself, the next time you're feeling upset towards someone, maybe you don't understand them. Ask yourself, do I understand why are they acting this way? Why are they raising their voice? Why are they being so selfish? Are you afraid of something? If you're pushing back from somebody, ask yourself why. Are you being afraid? You're not trying to understand them because you're fearful of something? Overcome your fear by trying to understand. We're not saying that you accept everybody. I'm not saying that you accept everybody. I don't think John Maxwell would say it either. But there are some people that, no, you want to push back from. But we say give people the benefit of the doubt. Try to understand them first and then decide what level you can relate to them. What are we afraid of? Sometimes we reject people, we don't understand people, we don't try to understand because we're afraid. What are we afraid of? We're afraid of rejection. Most people are afraid of being rejected. We're afraid that their idea might be a better idea than ours. That's rejection also. We're afraid that they might want to change something that is important to us. They might want to change our culture. They might want to change what we've been taught to do since childhood. We're afraid because we might lose our value or something that is important to our history. New people come in, young people come in with new ideas, and usually young people want to change something, and older people don't want to change things. Why don't old people want to change? Because it's precious to them. They've fought for it. They've tried. And they don't want to lose something that is valuable to them, even though it might be better. And so we don't try to understand. And also, we're fearful because we don't want to change something. We like the way it is. We don't want to see change. We like the way we are. We like the way our environment is. And so we don't want to change, and so we don't even try to understand. The second reason why people don't try to understand others is because of self-centeredness, selfishness. It's human nature for people to think of themselves before they think of others. It's natural. We protect ourselves before we protect others. We think of our needs before we think about other people's needs. That's human nature for people to do that. An example of that is a 2-year-old child. A 2-year-old child is often the epitome of selfishness. They only think about themselves. My toy, my food, my everything, me. It's human nature. It's built on the inside of us. And so selfishness is built on the inside of us. One way to overcome self-centeredness or selfishness is to try to see things from the other person's perspective. That goes back to trying to understand them. Listen to what they say. Listen without being judgmental. Listen to try to understand what they're saying. And there's something called reflective listening. And so you reflect it back to them. So what I hear you saying is this. And they say, no, that's not what I said at all. We haven't understood them yet. And so keep working at it until we understand them. And then we can, as I said, then we can make a decision. Do we agree with them or not? Why don't we agree with them? Do we want to relate to them on this level or a different level? John Maxwell has, in his book, he has what he calls a short course in human relations. And they're just one line, but it's just truths. We call them, it's truisms about human relationships. And this is what he says. The least important word is I. The most important word is we. The 2 most important words are thank you. The 3 most important words are I forgive you. The 4 most important words are what is your idea? The 5 most important words, you did a good job. The 6 most important words, I want to understand you better. And so if you want to relate well to people, take a look at this slide, print it, put it on your phone, put it on your wall, and remember it, and it will help you to get along with others. The 3rd reason why we fail to understand other people is failure to appreciate differences. We don't understand that people are different. Maybe we do understand that people are different, but we don't understand it's okay to be different. People can be different. It doesn't mean they're wrong. Just being different does not mean they're wrong. Sometimes it does, but not always. So we can allow them to be different. Let me say something quickly though. There are structures of authority. Now, if you're the boss and the other person is the employee, they can be different all right, but you're still the boss and they have to do it the way that it has to be done. And so there are levels of authority when you're in an authoritative relationship, a structure of authority where there's somebody who is holding authority, and as I said, it's at work or in a certain kind of relationship. Well, then you can be different if you want, but you can be different at home. But when you're here at your workplace or when you're in this kind of official relationship, there's a boss and there's an employee. But the point is, even for the boss and employee, should understand is that people are different. And we should allow them flexibility to a certain degree in that working relationship to be different. Maybe they have a new idea or a better idea. Don't be afraid if someone does something different from you or better from you. This is key. This is just a fact. In many situations, there's many ways to get things done. There are many paths that lead to success. Sometimes, yes, there's only one way. This is at my place of work, and you have to cut it this way. It has to fit. It has to be done. Step 1, 2, 3. There's no change. But in many situations, things can be done in different ways. And so we need to try to understand and appreciate the differences that someone might have a new idea, a great idea that will save money, save time, save resources. Your organization, your business, your family, your church needs the differentness. We need the differentness that people bring. We don't want to all just be the same. We want to allow for differences and work together to become something better. People have different needs, and people have different motivations as well. And so it's important to understand that if you want to relate to people, allow them to be different a little bit and discover their differentness and learn to appreciate their differentness, because that affects their needs and affects their motivation. Thank you for listening. We've just finished part 1. We're going to take a little break and we're going to go into part 2 of what do I need to know about others. If you like this video, I'd like to encourage you to subscribe to the channel, to click the like button, click the bell button so that you're notified the next time I put up a video. And if this has been beneficial to you, please share it with others.